What is the source of all of your compulsions, your addictions, your neurosis? And neurosis, if you're a neurotic person, you're trying to avoid suffering. There you go. Just suffer, bitch. Suffer, suffer, suffer. So what's the issue with all of this stuff? What's causing your compulsions? Now, spiritual teachers often won't talk about this. A therapist will not talk to you about this. You have to learn this from your elders. Well, your father should have taught you this, but you have to learn this through trial and error. You have to learn it by coming across the right person or the right YouTube video or the content. You have to kind of discover it on your own. And that is how to face your sexual shadow, facing your sexual shadow. So all this inner work that I did on myself for over a decade. Well, let me go back from the first time that my parents took me to a therapist at 8 years old. 8 years old, searching for what was wrong with me. What was my problem? What was my problem? Because no one else in my family had problems. I was the only one that had problems. It would be much later after I got sober that I discovered that everyone in my family had problems. They were just projecting them onto me. The tragedy of that is that I spent my whole life trying to fix something within me that was never broken. Was never broken. I was never broken. Well, they broke me, but the good news about that is that I spent a lifetime trying to fix other people's problems with me. I thought that if I could just change this one thing, people would like me. That if I could just be nicer, I became a people pleaser. It was awful. But when I stopped doing that behavior last year, when I stopped it, when I was like, oh, hell no, never again. I gotta be myself. I have to be authentically me. It pissed the people in my life who were projecting onto me. When I stopped playing those assigned roles that people wanted me to play, it pissed people off. It made them mad. They felt like I had done something to them, and I did. When you become authentically yourself, you force other people to look at themselves, and they're just not going to do that. I didn't want to do it. No one in their right mind would want to do that because nobody else is doing it. Why should we? Why should we do it? But the reality of it is when you look in the mirror, it's just a moment. It's just a moment in time. And people will contort themselves into all fucking shapes to avoid looking in the mirror for that moment. People would rather die than look in the mirror. How do I know this? Because I see it daily. I see it daily. I'm in recovery. I see people choosing the illusion over the beautiful, lovely reality. What are you going to find out about yourself? That you're a bad person? That you're a pervert? That you're evil? Or no person is like that. There are no bad people. And that's something that you discover when you do enough shadow work. So all these years of working on myself, all these books I read, all this stuff trying to figure out what was wrong with me, all of that stuff led me to, oh shit, I am extremely sexually repressed. I am so fucking sexually repressed. I am so repressed that I got married to another guy who was sexually repressed so we could be sexually repressed together. I developed IBS. My husband became neurotic. And, our relationship has been wonderful and lovely. But there has been an element of nervousness and tension and throughout our entire marriage. But that evaporated when I started working on the sexual shadow. So how did I do that? How did I face my sexual shadow? Through art, through music, through writing. No one guided me through it except for a woman who watches this channel. She encouraged me to look into it. And I did. But last year I realized I had to become a more sex positive person because people started coming to me with their sexual issues, and especially having to do with porn addiction. And I realized I have to be more sex positive. I can't just shut down conversations about sex, which is what I did throughout pretty much my entire career as a shaman. I would tend to shut those down with people because I didn't want any hints of impropriety. I didn't want people to accuse me of trying to sleep with them, or it was all based on what other people's perceptions of this work would be. But I realized I had to sort of relax that a little bit. I kind of had to bro out a little bit with some of the men that were coming to me for help. I had gotten into semen retention, and I managed to go 100 days without coming. And this was seen as sort of something worth doing. And I will say it was the thing that reset my sexuality. I think that 100 days was necessary for me to take a break and go, what exactly am I getting off to? What exactly am I turned on by? Because, you know, when you consume porn, when you have sex, it can get pretty mindless. I was more focused on the orgasm. I was more focused on rubbing one out. And so it made sense for me to try out semen retention because it was the wanting to get it over with that was the problem. It was the viewing my sexuality as a burden or something that I just had to deal with, or something that only unevolved, unenlightened people do. And that was the problem. That was the issue. I had separated sexuality from me. I had taken my sexuality, put it in a box, never to look at again. And that's where my IBS started. That's where my issues started. That's when I started having arguments with people. That's when I started really not being able to get along with people very much at all. It was because of that. It was because I was repressing my sexuality. I wouldn't discover that until being encouraged by this woman to go to a fetish website and simply look and interact and talk to people who were not ashamed of their sexuality, people who had integrated their sexuality to a degree, if not almost completely. Will you ever get to the bottom of your sexual shadow? I don't think so. I don't think you can truly get to the bottom of your shadow because most people don't do shadow work until they're in their 30s or 40s, or maybe not even at all. So all of your foundational childhood stuff was created. All the shadow was created when you were a child and a young adult. You don't realize that as an adult, you really don't have to suppress or repress anything. Not in this modern age. Of course, you don't have to. You could just let it all hang out and nobody cares. Nobody cares. And the people that do care, when you let it all hang out, they are repressed. So you have your inbuilt compassion for other people. Hey, we decided to make an album of sex music last year, and it was probably the best, most healing thing that we ever did. But also it was kind of wrapped up into our rediscovering and restoring our masculinity. So the album and the music videos and all of that, it was all wrapped up in that. And so that album detailed our restoration process, the reawakening of our sexuality, the integrating of our sexuality. And that sonic visual journey continues on our next album. And it's called Bait Fuel. Bait Fuel. And it's so good. It is so good. And the songs are so good. We have improved our songwriting. We have improved our production. I'm getting better at using AI to make music videos, and we decided to just go right in. Let's fucking go right in. Let's make something so fucking punk rock and bold, and it is what it is. It's bait fuel. So for those of you that don't know what bait fuel is, it is pornography. It's anything that you can use to masturbate to. Now, the album itself is it's love songs, and the whole story of the album is somebody who wants their loved one to stop watching so much pornography and paying attention to them. It's actually a very sweet album. It's a love album. But one of my favorite songs on there is Goon to Me. Let's listen to a sample of that now.
I got all the flesh and bone you need. Don't have to pay to goon to me. I know you wanna. I know you wanna stroke to me. I wanna see you goon to me. Don't you come too soon for me.
I love that song. I love that song. And I also love the model in the video. Merrick and I love that guy so much. And he's AI, but we've called him Adam.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And we refer to Adam in our conversations. We're like, Adam, because for this album, we're gonna name the guys that appear in the video so that you can get to know them. Which sounds crazy, but this is where we got with all of this AI and AI, using AI for music production and video production and stuff like that. So it doesn't matter if a guy on a screen is AI or not. I mean, I could be AI. You don't know. Most of you will never meet me or see me in person. So it doesn't matter. I could be AI or not. What matters is the end result and how that content affects you. And so for the video for Goon to Me, I was trying to play it like cool, and Merrick said, you need to go harder with this video. There needs to be drooling. The song is called Goon to Me, Patrick. Why are you trying to make it look like a Janet Jackson video? And I'm like, okay. So for this album, we're putting even more effort into the sexual shadow aspect of it. Like, and most of our music and stuff they're spiritual lessons, they're life lessons wrapped up in a pop song. They're earworms. They get in your head. So going hard with this album and going hard with the imagery and helping people realize that there's nothing wrong with this. Like pairing this almost pornographic imagery with catchy pop songs is powerful alchemy. It works for me. It works for my husband. It works for the people who understand the power of an integrated sexuality. Like I've even talked to some of the guys I know that sleep only with women, and they're like, this shit is sexy on a primal base level. It reaches something in and touches you. And I know that because it touches me. No one has heard this album outside of Merrick and myself, and it comes out April 3rd. And I'm going to be very stingy with it because I want to finally release something that you won't know much about until you hear the whole thing. And for it leans heavily into it. Male masturbation, male sexuality. Our work does not use the terms gay or straight. And in fact, I am relaxing that. I'm not going to be necessarily referring to gay guys. I'm not going to be referring necessarily to straight guys because I think those are just labels and they're ultimately meaningless. And I do believe that we're entering a world where those labels will be meaningless, that we will kind of go back to men being men and women being women. And if you like to have sex with guys, go right ahead. If you're a woman and you like to have sex with, go right ahead. You're just a woman and you're just a man. And there's a simplicity in that, and there's a clarity in that. And I think that we're returning to that because things got way too complicated. There's too many outside opinions. There's too many voices. There's too much noise that has nothing to do with you. So yesterday I was at the gym on the stair stepper machine, and I was just the screen, because you're up really high when you're on the stair stepper machine, and the bank of TVs at the gym. And there was the Today Show. I haven't seen the Today Show in, oh God, I can't. But I used to watch that shit. I used to wake up and watch the morning news and drink some coffee and feel like an adult. And I looked at the Today Show and it just looked like Muppet Babies to me. It looked like an episode of Muppet Babies. And one of the segments that I saw, I couldn't hear it. I could only see it. And they were saying Dunkin' introduces buckets of iced coffee. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then all the people on the Today Show were drinking out of these buckets of iced coffee. And I'm like, this is crazy. This is insane. Like, this is what millions of people are watching in the morning. Let's go get a bucket of iced coffee. And it's a plastic bucket with a straw. It looked like an ice cream tub. And they were all drinking it and laughing at at how good it was. And oh gosh, this iced coffee. And I'm like, I'm so far removed from that world now. I'm so far removed from that. I talk to other people in recovery about the world. And it's crazy when you're on the outside looking in. I used to feel alone in that. I used to feel alone. Like, man, I want to be a part of all that insanity. I want to be a part of all that insanity so much that I'm willing to compromise who I am. I'm willing to make myself sick to get along with people who drink iced coffee from a bucket. That's fucking nuts. I used to do that. So facing your sexual shadow in whatever way you choose to. There's no like technique. I mean, some of my techniques that I use helping men enter their sexual shadow or face their sexual shadow, I'm not going to talk about publicly because they could be different for anybody else. And in fact, I like the improv aspect of how I work. I love the improv because you don't know what you're going to get. The one thing I have started doing though is I tell men right off the bat, like, that we're going to have to do a session naked. And the ones that are like, okay, cool, yeah, let's go, they tend to be more open to facing their sexual shadow. And the ones that are not, I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You will probably go through a lot of suffering later in life, and you will find somebody who can help you with this later. It's kind of like that. It's that barrier. How serious are you? How serious are you about facing your sexual shadow? Because when you choose somebody to do shadow work with, and you cannot do it alone, we tried to do a deck to help people. You cannot do shadow work on your own because the shadow will hide. You have to do it with somebody else. You have to. It's like looking in a mirror. I've heard somebody describe this before. You have to look at your shadow in a mirror. So if you're straight, I would say examine the... Well, see, I said I'm not going to say that. Let me say, if you're a man who likes primarily women, maybe choose someone to help you that is a woman, maybe, to help you with that. I don't know. I think when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I know it was in my case, but I'm focusing completely on the sexual shadow now, making art about it, making music about it, and being confrontational about it. I'm reminded of when Madonna did her erotica album and got a whole bunch of shit for that. And I remember those days. I remember everybody wanting a copy of the sex book, but most people saying she's a whore. She faced her sexual shadow, and she wanted to share how freeing it was with other people. So like our last album, Mask, was like Beyonce's Lemonade. And so Bait Fuel is like what Madonna did for the underground voguing scene with Vogue. That's what we're doing for the baiting and the gooner culture. We're writing love songs for baiters and gooners. And those guys, I'm going to tell you, I've learned so much from being a part of those communities and talking to those men about what they like. They are facing their sexual shadows with each other on a daily basis, because baiters don't usually do it alone. Gooners don't usually do it alone. They actually like doing it with each other. It's communal. It's connection. And I've learned a lot about connection from that community. I like it. Some people might think it's a cult, and it's a cult with, you can come and go. But it's for ladies. I was thinking about this the other day, the ability for a man to drop in and masturbate with other men at any time. It seems ancient. It seems primal. It seems like something that we forgot. It seems like something we forgot. And so the album Bait Fuel is going to lean heavily into that. And it's not going to be for everybody, but it should. So where do you start facing your sexual shadow? I would say start with the shame. Start with, what are you ashamed of? I've noticed that some of the men that I interact with on X, they're starting to talk about sex more on their X account. Maybe I'm just noticing it because I'm starting to do that. But your sexuality is not separate from who you are. It can't be. That's going to make you sick. It used to be not, before we had to have a public persona, before we had a Facebook and all of it. We had to have a public self and a private self. Most of us used to just have private selves. No one really had access to our innermost thoughts or our private lives much at all. But those days are over. And because those days are over, having your private life be somewhat public, it means you're going to have to integrate your sexuality, and you're going to have to face your sexual shadow. If you're tired of being compulsive, obese, having a lot of personal issues and personal problems, do you get into arguments easily? Do you have road rage? All of that, every problem in your life is due to your repressed sexuality. It is. But they don't talk about it that much in therapy. They don't talk about it that much in psychiatry. They don't talk about it. Why? Because facing your sexual shadow is difficult. And those who help you face your sexual shadow usually get a lot of projection. So you don't have people lining up for the privilege of being able to help people face their sexual shadow. But I will. If you need help, give me a shout. I'd love to help you. And if not, that's fine too. Just keep watching these videos. You'll get it eventually. You'll get it. I know I did. So I'm gonna lead out with a song from our album Mask. I want you to have a beautiful day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.
You don't know me, you never did. If you're betting on the truth, then place your bid. Put your money on the table before you make the call. How high will you go before you lose it all? You say you love truth, but you keep telling a lie. Putting words in my mouth, I'm not wearing a disguise. At least not this time. What you see is a projection of your own dirty shame. This is just a reflection of your own private pain. You see filth, I see love, I see touch. caused me great suffering, treated me like a little kid. You control me with money, you control me with lies. You withheld affection, you pretended to be. Why? You say I'm bad, but I know I'm good. You think you're polite. What you see is a projection of your own dirty shame. This is just a reflection of your own private pain. You see filth, but that's because, but that's because filth, but that's because, but that's because filth, but that's because, but that's because filth, but that's because. One-way conversation, endless frustration, shaky foundation, emotional castration, libido stagnation, sexual starvation, hopeless damnation, mental mutilation is my confirmation. It's all manipulation. If you love me, you wouldn't hurt me. If you loved yourself, you wouldn't hurt me. If you knew how much I loved you, you wouldn't hurt me. You wouldn't mistreat me. You treat total fucking strangers better than me. What you see is a projection of your own dirty shame. This is just a reflection of your own private pain. Yeah, I'm filthy, naked and sore. Loving you became such a bore. Boner killing bitches, get off the dance floor. Get off my dance floor. I just wanna dance. You see Phil. I just wanna dance. I see love. I see rivers, but I see love. I see love. I just wanna dance. I see love. Project on me, get it all over me. Put it all on me, get it all on me. Get it all on me.